under coach Alonso.
Yeah.
They used to have like this high pressure. They build really high, forget their back, and at the moment you see opportunity for Freiburg. That could be a close one, but it didn't go through.
That was a really, really dangerous ball. Yuito Suzuki was the one who took on the ball all the way into the 18-yard box.
It looked for Niklas Beste on that side. Niklas Beste tried to take a shot but deflected.
Yeah, that the final connection was was not accurate, but this was very, very dangerous for Leverkusen.
Exactly what we were talking about, right?
Absolutely.
They play really high and forget the back, and this is a type of play they used to play under Alonso, and they still keep that play. Press really high, forget the back, and then when there's a counter-attack, then there's opportunity there for Freiburg.
Leverkusen now in possession of the ball, Martin Terrier, and he finds Tapsoba. Tapsoba going forward. Tapsoba is all the way on the edge of the 18-yard box, helping out with the attack. And it is Terrier once more. And Alejandro Grimaldo, Gerald Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa finds Poku. Poku sends it back to Grimaldo. And we've got a lot of Leverkusen possession here on the edge of the 18-yard box. What can they do with that? Leverkusen searching. It goes back to Andrich. Andrich back to Kwanzaa. And it's a quick one. Ezekiel Fernandez, 1-2. He was attempting to do the 1-2 touch, but he loses it. But it's not destroyed yet. It goes all the way, but Freiburg clears the ball. And it ends up all the way back at the feet of Jarrell Kwanzaa, who tries to play a through ball, but it was a bit overkicked. He was searching for Martin Terrier. He overkicked that, and they sent it up out of touch for a goal kick.
I would say that was a brilliant play there between Fernandez and Martin Terrier. And even though it didn't go through, you could actually see Poku dragging that ball on the left-hand side there. But, yeah, they came close. As we watch this replay there before by Freiburg with that opportunity there, a ball which was actually dragged in there by, Suzuki.
And it's Leverkusen once more. Fernandez helping out on the near side. He finds Blaswich. Blaswich back to Robert Andrich. Leverkusen trying to build calmly from behind. Edmond Tapsoba holding on to the ball on the edge of his own 18-yard box. He finds Andrich. Andrich lets a long one in. Christian Kofane handles the ball neatly. His control was really, really good, but I think there was a momentary loss of concentration, and he loses the ball. But Leverkusen back in possession of the ball, and they're going forward once more. Leverkusen dominating possession in the opening minutes of this game. Leverkusen once more. They switch play onto the left-hand side. Alejandro Grimaldo handles the ball on the near side. He checks, he turns around, he finds Tapsoba. Tapsoba to Robert Andrich, and it's a 1-2 touch. Leverkusen going forward once more. Switch play onto the right-hand side. Ezekiel Fernandez. Fernandez, and it's a really, really good touch. Christian Kofano on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ah, what a miss. What a miss. It was Christian Kofano miscommunicating with Martin Terrier. Martin Terrier did the run into the 18-yard box. Christian Kofane laid the ball in front of him, but in the process, he kicked the ball, and the ball ended out of touch for a goal kick. But this is brilliant.
This is brilliant, but you could actually see Julian Schuster, the coach there for Freiburg, is not happy. He wanted a conversion of that ball, but you could actually see, even though it was a brilliant play by Kofane, look, he's searching for Terrier there, and Terrier actually not really understanding what was going to. He turned around a bit too late, and that basically he lost possession of that ball. That would have been a really dangerous one.
Absolutely. Hostilities resume here. Again, the ball handled, played all the way back to Noah Atobolu. The fans here at the Europa Park Stadium are certainly doing their part. It looks like a full stadium, and the fans are singing and cheering on their side as Freiburg go forward. It's a beautiful play up there, up front, but it's stopped by Robert Andrich. Leverkusen trying to go forward once more, but again, ball overkicked and ends up, fortunately for Leverkusen, as a corner kick. This is the first corner kick of the game.
I would say this has been a fairly good game so far for both sides. There's been some good small chances for Leverkusen at the same time, some small chances for Freiburg. So far, none of them have been able to combat their chances, but they are pushing. They're pushing hard. Leverkusen is pressing hard. Freiburg is also pressing or repressing, even though most of the ball is being played on the Freiburg half right now. But the fans are really gearing up their team. This is the Freiburg stadium.
It's kicked in, and Leverkusen still in possession of the ball. They're sending a long one, and it is Jarrell Kwanzaa who chases after the ball. Jarrell Kwanzaa, who got the equalizer for Leverkusen last week in the dying minutes of that game. Leverkusen once more, and they find Jarrell Kwanzaa, and he headed the ball down in search of Tapsoba, but that ball was kicked out, cleared out. But Leverkusen still in possession of the ball, and they try to go forward. Robert Andrich in possession of the ball. He switches play to NS Poku on the right-hand side. Poku dribbles, he comes in, he cuts in, and he sends in a long one by Robert Andrich, but that is blocked. And it is Alejandro Grimaldo who's dropped back to help with defense.
And it was an empty play there by Robert Andrich, trying to find Anes Poku on the right-hand side, but Poku was sitting too deep there for that particular ball. So another possession lost to Freiburg.
Freiburg going forward, and the fans are coming alive. What can Freiburg do out of this? Freiburg going forward. And
that was a close one.
It was a really, really close one.
The ball still in play, kicked out by Robert Andrich. But Freiburg have come really close.
My oh my. Freiburg testing Leverkusen. They are appealing for a penalty. It was Igor Matanovic who appears to have been fouled in the 18-yard box.
Nah, it's not. He was not touched. He dived. I would say he dived in there. Yannick Best. Is it Beste? No, it's not Beste.
It was Robert Andrich who tried to protect the ball, and they are appealing that Robert Andrich fouled Matanovic, but looking at the replay, it does not look like.
It does not look like. It's a dive in there by Matanovic. He dived in for that one there.
But Leverkusen certainly coming under a lot of pressure. Freiburg showing that they can hit and they can be dangerous on the counter. They now have a throw in. It is Eggestein who steps up to effect the throw in. He raises his hands and he checks. He sends a long one into the Leverkusen 18-yard box. A head hits the ball, but this is cleared by Leverkusen. The ball is up in the air.
It's a little bit of a struggle there, like a seesaw if you would like, between Leverkusen and Freiburg. Tapsoba trying to really backflip that ball there, and now Troy is taking another throw again there. Philip Troy, a very young star, and the ball being headed away, and now Troy took another shot into the hands there of Yanis Blaskovic. No harm done.
Leverkusen can breathe now. Oh, talking about breathing, Leverkusen loses possession once more, and what looks to be in a dangerous position. The referee today, 36-year-old Benjamin Brandt from Bavaria, whistles for a free kick in favor of Freiburg.
Manzambi was brought down there by it wasn't a nice play there, but Ibrahim Azar brought down Mazambi, and the referee called it for a free kick. And now it's being taken by Vincenzo Grifo, a really experienced player, spent a lot of time there with Freiburg.
You've got Nicolas Beste and Vincenzo Grifo both behind the ball. Not sure who is going to take their kick, but the Leverkusen lineup is...
It could be, yeah, Grifo took that one. And, yeah, Tapsoba headed out again.
That set piece was very, very good. It was Vincenzo Grifo who lobbed the ball into the 18-yard box, and he was searching for the head of Matanovic. And it was Tapsoba who cleared the danger, but the danger is not over yet. Freiburg still in possession of the ball, and they are holding it on the edge of the 18-yard box. They're searching, passing through the, connecting the passes as they look for an opening for Leverkusen. It is Manzambi who
brilliant play by Manzambi, takes a shot into the hands of Yanis Blastic.
This is really, really good for Freiburg. The fans are happy with what they are seeing on the pitch. Blastic has been called upon and he's delivered twice so far, but Leverkusen seem to have lost their mojo. They are not cohesive and they're under pressure once more. It is Vincenzo Grifo on the left-hand side. He sends another one in. Robert Andrich clears it, but it ends up again with Freiburg, Manzambi, and he finds Vincenzo Grifo once more. Manzambi once again, he checks, he sends a long one in, but that is blocked again by Robert Andrich.
Manzambi, I will tell you, he's having a really good game right now. Really good.
Really difficult, Buba, right now for Leverkusen. They are under a lot of pressure.
Out of nowhere, Freiburg have just turned the tide here. They put more pressure on Leverkusen right now than Leverkusen can really think about. And I tell you, in the midfield there, Manzambi has been turning things upside down for Bayer Leverkusen.
He's become a playmaker. He's on that left-hand side, and he's causing a lot of problems on that side, taking on the midfielders and then, cutting in towards the 18-yard box. Kick effectively. Manzambi once more, we're just talking about him, and he's the one who had the final touch on that corner kick and goes out of touch for a goal kick. Leverkusen can reorganize now. They need it. They needed to reorganize because they have been under a lot of pressure in the last few minutes.
They do need to reorganize right now because the way things are turning out doesn't look like their plan is actually being coming fruitful here. They need to really maybe counteract the plan of Freiburg because theirs doesn't look to be getting nowhere right now.
They don't seem to have any breathing space at all.
Not at all.
Tapsoba has the ball. He checks, sends a long one in, and he finds an Espoku on the very far side. And Leverkusen trying to build. And Espoku is the one being sought, and he finds an Espoku once more. And Espoku finds Terrier. Leverkusen going forward. Tapsoba at the center circle. He goes forward. Searching. He pulls back. He's got a lot of options behind him. Robert Andrich also there in support.
Andrich, of course, an experienced German international, being the captain today for Bayer Leverkusen. They're on the defense there alongside.
And this is Kofane. Kofane, it is Alejandro Grimaldo once more on the left-hand side who sends in a long pass. And he finds Kofane once more, but again, he's not able to bring it down.
Another header again by Kofane, which went right over the post. But it looks like things are getting on slowly for Bayer Leverkusen. But at the moment, I wouldn't say Alejandro Grimaldo has succeeded in finding Kofane on the ninth position there.
Grimaldo dropping back to help out in defense. Grimaldo is playing the role that Jeremy Frimpong used to play. He goes forward and then he drops back to help out in defense because he's got a lot of speed. As we see him speeding down on the left-hand side, Alejandro Grimaldo once more. And it is NS Boku who gets the ball. And it is Bayer Leverkusen. Leverkusen gets that great ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. Ibrahim Maza had a final touch, but it was a bit over the top of the crossbar. Accuracy was lost there, but it was the setup was really good. It was Ernest Poku who brought the ball back right in front of Ibrahim Maza, and he could have taken a few seconds to reorient himself, but he took it on the fly and he went over the crossbar.
Right. Also another small opportunity as well for Bayer Leverkusen, which they failed to convert. As they press forward again, Kofane with the ball in front of Mattes Ginter. Bayer Leverkusen still struggling there, as you see a one-to-one duo there between, is that Poku, on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side of Freiburg, and now ball in the 18-yard box there, but Bayer Leverkusen lost possession, and Grimaldo doesn't seem happy with that one. He's like calling on this player. This was a jam there between Jan-Niklas Beste and a Leverkusen player.
I think that Grimaldo has every right to complain because I don't see the foul. It was Niklas Beste who spread out his leg, and instead, mistakenly, I would say, fouled Alejandro Grimaldo. But the foul was whistled in favor of Freiburg. As we see, still on the pitch, Alex Garcia is there on the pitch, and he seems to be injured.
Looks to be a lot more in pain there.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was a clash there between him and Suzuki, but it wasn't intentional. I don't think Suzuki actually intentionally caused that foul.
Yeah.
If then it would be Garcia himself who actually went for a dash on the ground there, and Suzuki jumped over him, and I guess through that he injured himself. As we watch Noah Tugolu getting some instructions from the goalkeeper coach there.
There's been a temporary pause in the game, a chance for the players to fuel up, get some fluids in, and then while we also have Alex Garcia receive treatment on the pitch, he is slowly getting back onto his feet. Hopefully, he should be able to continue because Leverkusen at the moment doesn't seem to have a depth of options on the substitute bench.
No, they don't. They don't have it. They have lots of injuries right now, but I would say with the few players that they have, especially in their midfield there, it could help them a lot because they have some experienced players.
Yes, Jonas
Hoffmann, Palacios is also there, so that could help them in maybe keeping this game intact. But because Patrick Schick is injured, it's not there. And Nathan Teller is also not being used quite often. I think he's also quite injured. So, there might be some problem for Leverkusen today.
The game has resumed. We've got Freiburg resuming play. They go forward in search of spaces to string their passes. They're playing around the center circle between the back four, and it is Philip Troy who falls back. He tries to help out, but he's under pressure. He sends the ball back to Noah Atobolu. Atobolu sends a long one in search of the Freiburg players. And Edmond Tapsoba appears to have fouled Niklas Beste. And referee whistles in favor of Freiburg. However, Tapsoba agrees and he is protesting that decision. But as we watch the replay, definitely, Tapsoba was restraining Matanovic with his arm.
That's right. He did have Matanovic under his arm, and he pushed him around a little bit. So yes, I think it was the right decision there by the referee.
We've got the second free kick, I would say, for Freiburg. It's sent in, and it was Mazzani who was trying to hold on to the ball, but he's challenged. It comes back to Vincenzo Grifo, and Leverkusen defending once more. And Leverkusen have the ball. They try to run forward. It is Ezekiel Fernandez who has the ball. He finds an Espoku. Edmund Tapsoba has it now. Tapsoba tries to go forward, and it's Alejandro Grimaldo who has the ball now. Robert Andrich. Andrich sends a long one to Jarrell Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa sends it over, and he finds Kufane. Kufane on the edge of the 18-yard box. He pulls back, but he slips in the process, and the ball is, the steam comes off, but Leverkusen still in possession of the ball.
They obviously didn't utilize that steam that they had there for a little bit, but I understand because of that mishap there by Kufane, Grimaldo was not really in possession to take that shot. As we watch them again, that would have been a little opportunity, but Leverkusen, a Freiburg defender is on the ground. I think it's Matthias Ginter, who is currently on the ground there, calling in there for a foul, an offensive foul.
But that was really good playing. Matthias Ginter, yes, you're right. Matthias Ginter, who took that knock for Freiburg. Corner kick comes in quickly, and it is Edmond Tapsoba, but he couldn't get the angle right. He couldn't get the angle right. The corner kick came in from Alejandro Grimaldo, who I should say I've been quite impressed with his work rate.
He's been very active in the front, in the back,
Yes.
in the center. He's been everywhere. Where the ball is right now.
He is.
So, and I understand why he's actually the main choice right now in the Spain national team, because he is really good. Yes, I would say Cucurella of Chelsea on the left back for Spain. It's been good, but to be honest, for me, Grimaldo is the choice.
Grimaldo is a complete player. As we see that Freiburg going forward, but Enes Poku, he wins the ball and he's going forward, searching for options. He loses possession, and this was totally uncharacteristic of Leverkusen, but it is Freiburg who's got the ball, and they're living dangerously. Leverkusen dangerously, Freiburg in possession of the ball, and it is Ernest Poku who comes out
And
all
then
the way.
he corrected his mistake there, because that mistake actually started with Ernest Poku, who was in possession of the ball but didn't know where to play it and laid it in front of Ezekiel Fernandez. Fernandez definitely was not in a better position to control that ball and lost it.
Yeah.
And that is how Freiburg got into the offensive here, and Ernest Poku came all the way back and corrected his mistake.
Vincenzo Grifo stands behind the ball to effect the corner kick. He sends a long one in, and it is Blaswich who faces the ball, but it's back on the edge of the 18-yard box. This was Matthias Ginter trying his luck with the ball, but there was no accuracy at all to it. The ball just ended up way over the crossbar. Leverkusen have a chance to rebuild from behind. Blaswich hands the ball over to Edmond Tapsoba. Freiburg playing a very, very high line, putting a lot of pressure on Leverkusen, as Tapsoba sends a long one in search of Kufane. However, this ends up with Leverkusen. Ball ends up with Atobolu. Atobolu sends one into the center circle. There's a foul in favor of Leverkusen.
A tussle there between between
Oh, this
it
looked like sumo wrestling.
Yeah. It is a sumo wrestling there between Matanovic there and a Bayer Leverkusen player there, and but we're not happy after that.
Leverkusen going forward, and Espoku on that far side. Martin Terrier to Massa, and it's a lot of play on that right hand side, the far side, Edmond Tapsoba plays switches into the middle. Alejandro Grimaldo, you can be sure, is on the left-hand side, the near side, and he's working the wings on that side. Edmond Tapsoba. Ball goes back to Robert Andrich. Andrich back to Mazza, and plays switches onto the right-hand side. Jarrell Kwanzaa on that side. They're trying to go forward, Leverkusen. It is a long ball in search of Kofane. Kofane is found on the 18-yard box, but he's under a lot of pressure. He finds again Poku. Poku could not go forward. Ball comes back to Poku. And Poku does a really good one, but the ball was kicked too much forward. He was trying to find Ibrahim Mazza, but that ball was kicked too forward, and it ends out to be a goal kick.
Indeed, it was a nice effort there by Poku, but the ball was a bit too. There was no chance Ibrahim Mazza was going to get that one.
Resumption of play by Freiburg. All right, and it is Leverkusen once more in possession of the ball. Ibrahim Mazza, he has the ball. He sends it to Robert Andrich. Andrich lays a quick one to Enes Poku on that far side. Poku tries to go forward, but there's no space. He sends it back to Jarrell Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa searches, and he finds that was a ball that was lost, but Robert Andrich recovers and finds Poku once more. Robert Andrich sends in a long one, which was supposed to be looking for Alejandro Grimaldo, but Grimaldo was way behind that ball. So it ends up with Atobolu, and Freiburg builds from behind once more. Quick build-up by Freiburg. Quick one, Mazambani is going for it. And they switch play. Vincenzo Grifo. They fly on the left-hand side.
It's a goal! The referee calls it there.
It is a goal. Vincenzo Grifo from that left-hand side beats Yanis Blaswich. And it is exactly what we've been talking about, Buba. When Leverkusen goes forward, they are not able to protect their back.
That's right.
Precisely what has led to this goal.
This was a counter-attack there. And Vincenzo Grifo coming all the way. He actually was one of the playmakers at the beginning. Managed to get the ball all the way to the forward there and then ended up converting it into a goal for Freiburg. What a big opportunity there for Freiburg. And the Breisgauer are getting excited now for this one.
It was Manzambi who went forward, found Vincenzo Grifo, and the ball was quite easy, I should say. Yanis Blaswich had zero chance. It bounced off the pitch and spun in the air, and he had no opportunity to stop it. I should say that the defending by Leverkusen was quite poor.
It was quite poor.
Very poor.
I would say even the midfield there was also quite poor. Alex Garcia was nowhere to Garcia was nowhere to be seen. Ezequiel Fernandez was also nowhere to be seen. Now it looks like they might put pressure again as we see Poku playing there for Tapsoba. Tapsoba takes the ball and finds Jarrell Kwanzaa on the right side. Kwanzaa to Grimaldo. Grimaldo checks and turns. About to lose possession. Ended up losing possession there. Freiburg just can't let it in for Bayer Leverkusen.
I should say it looks very similar to what happened last week. Last week, Leverkusen conceded also on a counter-attack just like this. And it took them the entire game for them to equalize in the dying minutes of the game. And I hope that this time round, they will be able to equalize much quicker. And they come close. They come close, but Christian Kofane couldn't find that final connection to equalize.
They actually have two nicknames in the Bundesliga. One is Leverkusen, because they had never won the Bundesliga, but 2 years ago they won it. So that particular now the other one that still sticks with them is Leverkusen.
Yeah.
Because they always equalize at the dead end of the match.
I hope that they are keenly aware They dropped a point last week, and their coach would also be aware that dropping another point here does not help their European dreams.
Indeed, opportunity! Kofane scored! An equalizer there. Kofane going to get the ball. And it looks like they are not going to go by their title, Leverkusen.
They were like, Buba, eat your words, Buba.
They didn't want to hear me say that. Julian Trishta was not happy there. Kofane.
It was Christian Kofane. And I should say that this goal came out of nothing. I didn't expect, because Leverkusen had better chances than this. Christian Kofane sitting on the edge of the 18-yard box. It was Ibrahim Massa who worked it from the near side, and he found Alex Garcia. And it was a kick that was really, really way outside of the 18-yard box.
Right.
I didn't expect that to beat Atubolu.
I also thought Atubolu would get that one, but he didn't. It was a bit, I think maybe it was also caught off guard. As a result, his response was a bit late, and that's why he didn't get that one.
So the game resumes. The scoreline is 1-1 as we watch a foul on a Freiburg player by Kofane. Kofane, who's been quite active in the first opening minutes of this game, finally getting the equalizer in the 37th minute of the game. So we have a game on our hands, Kuba.
We do have a game in our hands as we are getting closer towards the 40-minute mark. And we look across on the Bundesliga, the goal lines across the Bundesliga. You have Mainz playing Stuttgart. That game is still 0-0. Wolfsburg are hosting Hoffenheim. That is 1-1. Opportunity for Freiburg, but obviously they lost that one again there. That was a close one also by Vicente Grifo. And as I was saying, Wolfsburg are drawing 1-1 to Hoffenheim. Another opportunity, Kofane takes a wide shot on a 30 meters point, but also aimed for the post above. And they're back to the scorelines across the Bundesliga. Heidenheim are losing 1-0 to Hoffenheim there, and Wolfsburg are drawing 1-1 to HSV Hamburg. And the later kickoff today would be Cologne versus Borussia Dortmund.
And proceedings are ongoing here at the home grounds of Freiburg, Europa Park Stadium, in the southwestern part of this country. That's where this afternoon's game is happening.
It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful area around that particular place in Breisgau, Michael. That's where you have Tyrol. Tyrol is like the highest peak of Germany, so lots of tourists go down there. Freiburg is a really, really nice area to be in. That's why they call them the Breisgauer, because it's been a very successful team from that particular region, the Black Forest, or as they're also known.
Yeah.
So it's a really, really nice place, and always nice to see the Breisgauer here in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, going forward, it is Matthias Ginter who has the ball, and he finds Ogbos. Ogbos going forward, he checks, but there's no opportunity, no space, so he sends it back, and they find Manzambi, who for me has been the playmaker of Freiburg so far in this game.
It's been so good there. Another opportunity there for Freiburg, still in possession, about to lose it there. Manzambi again plays it back, and then gets in possession, and now takes a turn and now looking to pass the ball on the left-hand side there towards the 18-yard box. Manzambi, he's still in possession. He gets the ball. It came really, really close there.
What a player. What a player.
Indeed. It came really close to Matanovic. Matanovic should have gotten that ball there from Manzambi.
As we see once more, and it is a Freiburg game here this afternoon. After conceding that equalizer, they have turned on the switch, the pressure once more, hiding a lot of pressure on Leverkusen. And Manzambi are doing a lot of work for Freiburg as we see that Leverkusen is going forward. quickly, and it's Grimaldo who finds Kofane, and Kofane is all by himself, but he checks. Alex Garcia is available. Massa on the edge of the 18-yard box. He checks, he tries to dribble, but he is not successful. The ball ends up once again with Alex Garcia, who is, I'm happy to see, is back on his feet. And Leverkusen doing a lot of work in the center of the pitch right now. They are trying to find spaces to go forward. Alex Garcia, he checks, he finds Alejandro Grimaldo on the edge of the 18-yard box, holding on to the ball. Alex Garcia finds Edmond Tapsoba. Tapsoba switches play. He finds Jarrell Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa to Enes Poku on that far side. Poku goes forward. He checks back to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa holding on to the ball. And he finds Martin Terrier. What can he do with that? He checks. He sends a long one in, but it's too close to Noah Atobolu, and it's collected calmly.
Indeed.
Calmly by Atobolu.
On a different note there, Michael, Bayern thrashed Borussia Mönchengladbach yesterday.
Absolutely.
It's crazy how much power Bayern is, and there was no hurricane.
Absolutely. I mean, there are so many options for the Bayern side. 4-1 is a statement of their dominance in the Bundesliga, and right now they have a 14-point gap on Borussia Dortmund, who are their closest rivals. Of course, Dortmund have got a game later this evening, but it's just crazy.
It is. Bayern, they look like machines. It's all right. A goal! A goal for Freiburg! Yuto Suzuki has put Freiburg ahead 2-1. What a goal there. What an opportunity for Freiburg.
Absolutely unbelievable, Booba. Unbelievable. And again, it's all about the counter-attack, This was worked on the right-hand side by Nicolas Bester, He cut in, and I like the fact that Matanovic had the chance to kick the ball in, but he faked, and he allowed the ball to pass in between his legs, and Yuito Suzuki was right there. He beat Blaswich, and there was no opposition at all. The Leverkusen defense is quite porous, very, very porous.
It is porous. Actually, to me, I think the forward of Freiburg looks a bit more dangerous than the defense there of Leverkusen. Why I say that is because Matanovic, who is the number 9, looks to be a false number 9. Yeah. You see, the ball he's been looked out for, but who scored the first goal?
Yeah.
Vicente Grifo.
Yeah.
And now, Yuito Suzuki. And look at the play. Nicolas Bester is always coming from the right-hand side, always pushing. So, to me, Matanovic is a false number 9.
Leverkusen, would they have an answer for this? They managed to come back from the first goal. Will they be able to come back once again before the end of the first half? But even if they were able to, they will need to have a serious discussion during the halftime break about, defending better.
Under 1 minute of course, not included at the time, Freiburg are leading 2-1, and now there's a free kick to Freiburg, being taken by goalkeeper Noah Atubolu. Grimaldo seemed to not be impressed by this particular goal, seemed to not be impressed by his team at all, and I would say it's been really sloppy defensive play there by top stars like Edmund Tapsoba, Robert Andrich, and even Jared Kwanzaa. I wouldn't give too much blame to Kwanzaa there, but to me, Andrich and Tapsoba, they've been a bit too sloppy. Suzuki again. He's going to take a shot. He took a shot into the hands there of Yanis Blaswich. What a goal. What a shot there again by Suzuki.
Yeah, definitely Freiburg. Freiburg is now, they've been buoyed on by the second goal. And it doesn't seem to be clear who is marking Suzuki. He has a free rein in the midfield, and they're asking so many questions of Leverkusen, and Leverkusen hasn't got the answers. If they go out of the first half with only 2-1, they will be lucky. They will be lucky
indeed. Corner kick there, taken there by Vicente Grifo and headed off by Ginter.
3 minutes of added time for the first half. Will it be enough for Leverkusen to pull another equalizer? As they build from behind, it's Alejandro Grimaldo back to Tapsoba to Grimaldo. They don't seem to be in a hurry to go forward.
That was a dangerous one there by Fernandez. Ezequiel Fernandez played the ball there to goalkeeper Blasvich. And Bayer Leverkusen struggling to get the ball away from the defense as we watch on the right-hand side. Jarel Kwanzaa played all the way to the pop against pass through Manzambi, played the ball to the center there, and again lost possession. But the shots there by Grimaldo, who called in there for a penalty, a handball penalty, but it's outside of the 18-yard box. It landed in the hands there of Suzuki, but it's not in the 18-yard box, so definitely not a penalty for or to Leverkusen.
So probably the last action before the halftime. Leverkusen have got a free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box. And I see Alejandro Grimaldo stepping up. He is behind the ball. We all know what he can do with free kicks.
Of course, it's a dangerous one there. If that ball goes through, it's got a really fine foot there. Fine left foot there by Alejandro Grimaldo. It looks like he's going to take this one. But Alexis Garcia is also standing next to him. It could be him that takes that one. But this one, as we watch, Grimaldo takes a few steps backward with his fine left foot.
What can they do? Checking.
Oh,
what a beauty! What a beauty!
Right, I tell you, Alejandro Grimaldo.
Unbelievable!
What a shot! Fine left foot, I tell you, Michael. He's got a really fine left foot.
Unbelievable. You know, Atobolo didn't move a muscle.
Not at all.
He had no idea what was going on. I think he probably expected Alex Garcia to take the kick. And Grimaldo stepped up and took it, and he didn't even flinch. He didn't flinch.
The ball actually came off the wall, on top of the wall, and it would have been really well defended. But we see the ball went over the head of Manzambi, and I don't think Atubolo even saw that ball coming because he was expecting it to come from the side, not over the wall, and that took him by surprise. And now we have a halftime break there.
It's been an exciting first half, I should say. Nothing compared to how Leverkusen played last week. This has been a first half with 4 goals. 4 goals in the first half. The two sides showing that they are equally matched. If you can't score, I can also score. That seems to be the statement here in this afternoon's game.
That's right. Although Freiburg have been the better side in my opinion.
They definitely have been.
They've created more chances. They've played into the spaces. They've actually converted some of their chances. I would say this equalizer, it isn't a fine work there, don't get me wrong. It's a fine work there by Grimaldo, but it comes with massive luck. Because if it had not been for that particular, which, I mean, the play itself came from Grimaldo himself.
Yeah. That
particular free kick came from Grimaldo, which he converted.
Yeah.
So, a really, really good play there, but with luck, a little bit of luck.
Absolutely, you're right there, Buba. I mean, when you look at the 2 goals that have been scored by Freiburg, they come out of open play.
Right.
You know, they have taken on the defense. They have, showed some, really good play on the field. However, when you look at Christian Kofane's kick on the edge of the 18-yard box, also at this free kick on the edge of the 18-yard box, yes, there seems to be a lot of luck there favoring Leverkusen. And they have come from behind. They haven't been the ones leading. And so clearly you can see who is dictating the pace of this game. And in the second half, they will really, really need to close those spaces if they want to come away with a win in this game. Because clearly, Freiburg have shown that they can hit on the counter. And they are very, very successful at that. Leverkusen is scrambling to catch up to Freiburg. And that could be a problem if they go ahead again in their second half. Who knows? Will they be lucky a third time to get an equalizer again? In the second half, I doubt it.
Me too. I agree with that. I also doubt whether there's going to be any good opportunity coming for Leverkusen in the second half. But if you look at the benches, I would say Lucas Höller is there, and he's quite good in the offensive there for Freiburg. And for Bayer Leverkusen, but we shall see what the second half brings. But for now, Michael, let's have a nice news report about what's happening in the Bundesliga, the English Premier League. I also have some information as well from La Liga, Ligue 1, and Serie A. So don't go anywhere. Stick around.
Bundesliga Radio live.
Welcome to the halftime show, and in the next 15 minutes, I will bring you all the news in the Bundesliga, English Premier League, Italian Serie A, Spanish La Liga, French Ligue 1, and the Champions League. So buckle up and off we go. I am Buba Jallo.
Fine with a point to prove in this second half. That's cheeky from Kimmich, down by Gnabry and Kane! Kept quiet in the
Bayern Munich rolled into the Allianz Arena on Friday night looking like a juggernaut, and even without Harry Kane, they thundered past Borussia Mönchengladbach 4-1. Kane, sidelined with a calf strain, watched from afar as Luis Diaz struck early. Lima powered through the midfield like a freight train, and Jamal Musiala, finally back and finally scoring, buried his first league goal of the season after months out with injury. And then Nicholas Jackson sealed it. Bayern roaring on their hunt for yet another Bundesliga crown. They are unstoppable, or at least they look like it at the moment. In Spain, Real Madrid waited until the final heartbeat to break the defense of Celta Vigo. 4 minutes into stoppage time, the ball spilled loose, and then Federico Valverde launched like a man possessed, stabbing home a winner that keeps Madrid clinging to Barcelona's coattails. It came after Borja Iglesias punished an Alexander-Arnold's slip to cancel out Tchouameni's opener. But Madrid, as they often do, simply wouldn't die. And then to Barcelona, who swept a treble last year but are haunted by the World Champions League. They visit Atletico Bilbao this weekend with a 4-point cushion in the La Liga. But the real prize, though, is Newcastle, which is their game next week. After an exhausting Copa del Rey exit, winning 3-0 on the night but losing the tie, Hansi Flick may now roll the dice, rest his stars, and hope the league leads hold, because the Champions League dream is burning too bright to ignore. In France, Paris Saint-Germain were shaken at home soil. Monaco arrived in Paris and left with a stunning 3-1 win. Akliouche struck twice. Golovin scored seconds after stepping onto the pitch, and even Bakula's response couldn't rattle Monaco's swagger. PSG wobbled, and suddenly Ligue 1 has a pulse. In England, Pep Guardiola sent out a warning wrapped in honesty. We are not a complete team yet. Those are the words of Pep Guardiola. Manchester City's 2-2 stumble at Nottingham Forest has left them 7 points behind Arsenal. But this is City. This is Pep Guardiola. And the FA Cup clash with Newcastle is their second chance to show the empire is far from crumbling. At Chelsea, manager Liam Rosenier leads a tactical fire by dropping Robert Sanchez and starting Philip Jorgensen in the 4-1 win over Villa. Next fix number 1, he says. The goalkeeper drama is alive and well at Stamford Bridge. Arsenal are headed to Mansfield. Chelsea is heading to Wrexham, where the Hollywood lights are bright, the stands are shaking, and the Welsh side dreams of Premier League future. Saturday's FA Cup tie is their chance to show they are more than a storyline. In Liverpool, they march back to Wolves, looking for revenge after being branded slow and predictable by a furious Virgil van Dijk. Friday's rematch could define their season. And at Tottenham, the crisis is happening. A 3-1 loss to Crystal Palace. Still no domestic win in 2026 and just 1 point above the relegation zone. Spurs are staring into the abyss. In Italy, Roma's Paulo Dybala is out for more than 6 weeks after surgery for a torn meniscus, a huge blow to their Champions League chase. AC Milan face Inter in a derby that feels like a last stand. Win or watch the title drift into the distance. And in Coppa Italia, Como and Inter played out a tense tactical 0-0, Como dominating but wasting chances after chances. Meanwhile, American star Weston McKennie has locked in his future, a brand new deal keeping him at Juventus until 2030. And in the Champions League, Barcelona's injury cause is continued. Jules Koundé and Alessandro Balde with hamstring injuries ahead of the Champions League clash with Newcastle. Both out at least 4 weeks, adding more pressure, more drama, and more uncertainty to a season already hanging by a thread. The main story, though, tonight is that the Women's Africa Cup of Nations has been pushed into the summer, less than 2 weeks before kickoff in Morocco. CAF announced on Thursday that the tournament will now run from July 25th to August 16th, though it did not confirm whether Morocco will remain host for what would be a third successive edition. The competition was originally set for March 17th to April 3rd, but reports had persisted that Morocco wished to withdraw, prompting CAF to promise clarity in the coming days. South Africa had already offered to step in. CAF said the new dates were agreed after discussions with FIFA and other stakeholders, citing only unforeseen circumstances and giving no further details. The organization added that preparations are underway and expressed confidence in delivering a successful tournament. In a surprise move last November, CAF expanded the fields to 16 teams, reinstating Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Mali, and Egypt after their earlier eliminations. Groups had already been drawn. Group A, you have Morocco, Algeria, Senegal, Kenya in Rabat. Group B, you have South Africa, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, Tanzania. They are also playing in Rabat. You have Group C, Nigeria, Zambia, Egypt, Malawi playing in Casablanca. And Ghana, Cameroon, Mali, Cape Verde, they will be playing in Fes. The date change comes despite CAF President Patrice Motsepe insisting as recently as February 13th that the schedule will not move, especially with WAFCON serving as a qualifier for the 2027 Women's World Cup in Brazil. The 4 semi-finalists qualify automatically, while the losing quarter-finalists head into intercontinental playoffs. The previous edition, ultimately won by Nigeria 3-2 over Morocco, also suffered delays originally planned for 2024, but was played in 2025. And Morocco, of course, remains in the global spotlight as co-host of the 2030 Men's World Cup. The main question many have been asking is why the postponement. CAF has not provided a detailed public response beyond unforeseen circumstances, but many news website reports indicate the postponement came at Morocco's request. Multiple reports indicate that the Moroccan Football Federation asked CAF to delay the tournament, prompting the Confederation to push the date to the summer. According to these reports, Morocco showed signs of being unable to meet the organizational demands in time. Some outlets report that Morocco was struggling to honor its hosting duties due to stadium and infrastructure demands, as well as scheduling clashes with the men's domestic league and international friendlies planned for March. This suggested the country would not be ready to stage the competition at the originally planned time. This comes at the backdrop of the tension after the chaotic 2025 men's AFCON final in Morocco, which led to sanctions and strained relations between Morocco and CAF. It contributed to uncertainty about the country's willingness or ability to host again so soon. Weeks before the postponement, a South Africa deputy minister publicly said South Africa will step in as a host after Morocco withdrew, only for the South African sports minister to retract the claim. This added to the sense that CAF was facing international disagreements and instability in planning events. Nonetheless, Morocco's preparations for the 2030 FIFA World Cup are huge, and yes, they are putting real pressure on the country's ability to host other major tournaments. The kingdom is currently overhauling and expanding its entire sports infrastructure. massive stadium renovations, new stadium projects in cities like Fes, Tangier, and Agadir, and upgrades to transport networks, airports, and hotels, all part of a national World Cup build-up. These World Cup linked projects came with a multi-billion-dollar price tag, with Morocco expected to invest up to $6 billion of its own share by 2030. And we are already seeing the impact. When CAF postponed the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, reporting suggested Morocco was facing stadium and infrastructure strain, with domestic league schedules and other events competing for the same facility. On top of that, Morocco isn't only preparing for 2030, it's also hosting AFCON 2025, the FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup in 2025, and the FIFA World Cup in 2029. So while Morocco remains committed to host the major event, the World Cup build-up is clearly a heavy lift, and it's already making it harder for the country to take on additional tournaments in the short term. That's all for this halftime, and now back to the second half as Michael Oti rejoins me in the studio for the match between Freiburg and Bayer Leverkusen.
Bundesliga Radio. Live.
Now, before we start this half, Michael, I have to ask you, what do you think about FIFA postponing the WAFCON?
It's such a bummer, Boba. Especially only a few weeks to the start of the tournament. It's the players, the media, organizers, everybody was left in limbo for a very, very long time. Didn't know what was going to happen. And now you get to hear that the game has been postponed till, July.
Yeah.
So all the preparations that teams would have made, are they going to break camp?
It's interesting that how FIFA dealt with this, yeah? They were very, very quiet.
You mean CAF?
No, FIFA was also very, very quiet on this.
Yeah.
Because they've been behind this. So we all talk about CAF, but you forget FIFA. FIFA is very much active in this than CAF, actually, because FIFA gives directives. And Morocco is one of the co-hosts of the 2029 World Cup or 2030 World Cup.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Morocco needs to renew all of the stadiums, the transportation, hotels, and things like that. So they have to do quite a lot for that particular tournament. Yeah. And so FIFA controls this stuff. And Morocco says, because they have a bitter relationship with CAF right now, after that men's AFCON, that turned out to be very dramatic at the end. So they don't have a good relationship with CAF. CAF didn't know exactly what was going on the Moroccan side. So whether Morocco will host this or not, this was left in limbo, kind of. So we were left in limbo.
Yeah.
CAF was also left in limbo. They didn't want to say anything undiplomatic to accuse Morocco more, to have more issues with Morocco. And South Africa out of nowhere came like, we can host it.
Yeah, but I mean, if because these things are scheduled years in advance, right? So if there were challenges with hosting the tournament, I am very sure that there are other countries that would step up or could step up to host the tournament,
right?
Instead of postponing, because now it goes to July, around the time when the possibly countries would already be preparing for the World Cup, or the World Cup would just have come to an end.
Yeah, this is exactly, it's bad because the World Cup is June, July.
Yeah.
Just after the World Cup,
yeah,
then we have the WAFCON. I don't know how much interest is going. It tells you how the footballing world or the football executives take women's football for granted.
Absolutely. I don't imagine this could happen with the men's game. They wouldn't dare do this.
Yeah, they put. I don't know. I'm very angry about this. I think they put money first in front of the football, the game itself, and I'm not happy about this. And I'm not happy as well that they keep tossing the women's football too far away. Anyways, back to the stadium in Freiburg as we have a kickoff into the second half. Leverkusen away to Freiburg in Breisgau, and Freiburg are currently leading 2-1.
You need to update that, Buba. The scoreline is 2-2.
2-2, sorry. My brain is
2-2.
2 goals.
Leverkusen equalized on the stroke of the halftime, the 45th minute.
That's free kick
by that brilliant,
Grimaldo.
Brilliant goal by Alejandro Grimaldo. So the scoreline is 2-2 here at the the stadium, the Freiburg Stadium. where action is happening, the Europa Park Stadium in Freiburg. The referee today is Benjamin Brandt, who is from the south of the country, Bavaria, 36-year-old. He's been officiating the Bundesliga since 2015-2016. And he's got over 90 games under his belt, so he's very, very experienced. And so far, the game has been quite equally fought, Freiburg being the more dangerous side compared to Leverkusen. Leverkusen came in as favorites, but they have met a Freiburg side that is fighting for every inch of space on this pitch. And they so far have been the ones who've gone ahead, gone forward twice, and Leverkusen have come from behind to equalize twice.
That's right. And let's look at the scoreline across the Bundesliga. Mainz are leading Stuttgart by 1-0. Leipzig are losing to Augsburg. That's 1-0 there. Wolfsburg are drawing with HSV Hamburg 1-1. And Heidenheim are losing 2-0 to Hoffenheim.
Absolutely. And we've just come back from the halftime break. Julian Schuster and Kasper Hjulmand both had discussions with their team. And I'm sure that Kasper would have had a lot to say to his boys because they leave a lot of spaces that are exploited by Freiburg on the counter-attack. And so in this second half, they will need to play differently. Go forward, yes, but be also aware of the spaces and defend much, much better. And as the second half resumes, Leverkusen is playing from left to right in their all-blue away jersey. And we've got Freiburg playing from right to left in an all-white jersey with red stripes on their shirts.
Obviously, a very cautious beginning of the second half. Leverkusen lost the possession in a very sloppy way to Freiburg. Freiburg with Vicente Griffo on the left-hand side. Plays there to
Freiburg going forward. And it's Ogbos who has the ball now. He checks, turns, sends it all the way back to Noah Atobolu. Atobolu sends it to Matthias Ginter, who looks around, holds the ball, checks, and he sends it back to Troy, Philip Troy on that far side. And it's a quick 1-2 play by Freiburg in an attempt to go forward, but it is Edmond Tapsoba who has the ball. And he plays a quick, easy 1-2 with Robert Andrich. Andrich all the way back in defense. And also paired in the defense there with Robert Andrich and Edmond Tapsoba is Darrell Kwanzaa. And the ball now ends up with Tapsoba, who is going forward. He finds Alejandro Grimaldo on that far side. Grimaldo tries to go forward, checks, but there's no space, and gets the ball back to Ezequiel Fernandez. And it goes back. It was supposed to be a 1-2 touch between Alejandro Grimaldo and Ezequiel Fernandez, but the ball is stopped. And it comes back to Tapsoba to Robert Andrich. And Robert Andrich trying to send the ball in, but he loses possession, and it is Manzambi who gets the ball, and he finds Griffo, who's been a problem for Leverkusen. He tries to cross the ball in to find Suzuki, but the ball goes out of touch. It was overkicked.
It looks like he was trying to get Matanovic there, but Matanovic reacted a bit too late and didn't get that ball. And the ball plays from the center circle to the right-hand side. Poku playing into the 18-yard box, and he takes a shot, deflected to Matthias Ginter, but we see Leverkusen trying with every possibility, every ounce to get that ball as it kicked off away by Jan-Niklas Beste.
There's a lot of space on that near side, that right-hand side that Poku could have run into. I think that sometimes when he gets the ball, he seems to be unsure what to do with the ball going forward. And, he's been quite good on that right-hand side, running into the spaces and, patrolling that side. That used to be the preserve of, Jeremy Frimpong. and now Enes Poku is playing that role, but he needs to mature into the role. If I could say that.
Right, he needs some time to actually do that. A little bit of disagreement there between Grimaldo and the referee. The referee called in the foul and handed the yellow card. And just it off.
Yeah, Grimaldo is usually a very, very fair player. He seldom gets carded during the games, but he's picked up the first yellow card of this game. And coincidentally, he is the one to have equalized for Leverkusen on the edge of the first half. And as Leverkusen build forward again, it is Christian Kofane who's going forward. And they've got a lot of men up front. What can they do? And it's a good one. Terrier.
It's a goal! That is a brilliant play there by Bayer Leverkusen.
Brilliant goal by Terrier on that one for Bayer Leverkusen, sending them up ahead 3-2. This is the first time in the game that they take the lead in the game. It was fantastic play by Christian Kofane. He had on his left-hand side Alejandro Grimaldo, and then on his right-hand side he had Terrier, and he could have gone for either of them, but he looked and he placed the ball directly in front of Terrier, who did a fantastic job with his first touch. He handled the ball, made sure it was lying quite in a good place, and then he struck it past Noah Atobolu. Atobolu beaten by the near post. He should have covered that much better, Buba.
Yeah, it was a bit difficult coming with that particular fast pace there. That was a bit difficult for Atobolu to defend against, and it's a really, really brilliant play. I would say, though, initiated by Grimaldo as usual.
Yeah.
The machine there for Bayer Leverkusen, who engineered that ball, looked for Kofane, and you could actually see how Grimaldo and Kofane and Terrier all dropping down with really, really pressure there. As Kofane laid that ball in front of Terrier, he hammered it on the short corner of Noah Atobolu's right-hand side, and he had no chance of stopping that ball. Leverkusen are now leading 3-2.
Leverkusen going forward once more. The ball ends up with Ernest Poku. Poku sends it back to Jarrell Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa to Poku, and it goes back and forth. Tapsoba now handles the ball. Going forward in search of spaces. Freiburg now rushing forward like a wounded lion. They need to get the point because they have been the clear favorite so far in this game. And Christian Kofane goes forward again. He has a lot of space. Alejandro Grimaldo is free on that far side. Grimaldo, he finds Terrier, and it is Matza, and it's a goal!
1v1 Kofane versus Noah Atobolu. Atobolu winning that one. Where I see Michael is getting too excited here for Leverkusen.
Leverkusen had the chance to go forward, but the ball landed awkwardly, and Kofane could not really place the header. He headed the ball directly into Atobolu. This was a begging opportunity for Leverkusen to add one more goal. So Freiburg, not sure what's happening in the halftime, but it seems like Leverkusen have managed to tweak their game plan, and they are playing like a better side, a more consistent side, a more cohesive side than they did in the first half. So far, in the first few minutes of the first half, we've played and it's been dominated by Leverkusen.
This is one-touch football. What a sloppy play there by Andrich as Freiburg went on the push there. The ball played by Niklas Beste towards Vicente Grifo, but actually didn't go through there. Matanovic had no chance of getting the ball.
Leverkusen building from behind. Jarrell Kwanzaa tries to find Mata, and Mata is fouled by Matthias Ginter, and the referee whistles for a free kick. Just look at that as we watch the replay of that opportunity that was stopped by Noah Atobolu. Christian Kofane had the chance to go up ahead, and Leverkusen going forward. It is Enes Poku who's got a lot of space on that right-hand side. And what can he do? He laid a really, really good pass, but he missed all of the players. There was nobody there.
He was actually aiming for Grimaldo. He laid a really flat ball. Grimaldo missed it actually, and Tapsoba struggled to catch the ball, but was not able to. But somehow they ended up with a throw-in to Leverkusen, being taken out by Grimaldo.
Leverkusen gets another throw-in, very close to the Freiburg goal area.
Youngster Massa being brought down again. It looks like he's very, very active, Massa. One of the most active players there as well, with Grimaldo and Garcia, I would say.
And it is Noah Atobolu who's going to restart play for Freiburg. They are down, but certainly not out. They are a really strong side. They have showed that where so far in this game, they have the advantage of home support. A very, very full packed stadium with their fans egging them on. They have what it takes to equalize. And as they build from behind, this is what they'll be hoping to do, to create the chances that would allow them to equalize. But Leverkusen recovers possession once more, and it's a Leverkusen ball as they weigh their options, try to go forward. It is Alejandro Grimaldo who has the ball. His work rate has been very, very impressive in this game. Very, very, very impressive.
He's been absolutely phenomenal, Alexander Grimaldo. He's been so phenomenal in this game. And
you see again Leverkusen going forward. Christian Kufane handles the ball. He checks, he sends it to Enes Poku. And Poku finds Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa to Andrich to Tapsoba. And Tapsoba strings one to Kwanzaa. And Leverkusen looking for spaces. They are taking their time.
Leverkusen actually playing one-touch football right now. And you could actually see they are playing in the spaces. They are dribbling less now, but rather playing the players into the spaces. And this, I think, has given them an advantage here. A struggle there on the right-hand side between Manzambi and Jared Kwanzaa. Nope, it wasn't Kwanzaa.
Freiburg gearing up for some changes because clearly they need to tweak their game. Leverkusen is playing a different kind of football, one they don't have access to. In the first half, they have a lot of answers for the Leverkusen problem, but it seems like they have run out of answers, and the coach, William Justa, is preparing to make some substitutions.
Right, I see Siriaki Irie getting ready. Derry Shahan also getting ready to come in there. These are two strikers that are looking to boost Freiburg's forward there. But I'm really asking myself, who are they going to replace in this particular game? It might be some midfielders who will have to come out there, but definitely it should not be Mazambi. He, for me, is one of the most active players from Freiburg. Maybe Maximilian Egelstein could go, Michael?
I think so. He's been very, very silent in this game so far.
Yeah, I think he could go. And Christian Günther could also go, in my opinion. Christian Günther is the left back for Freiburg, but I don't see how much he's been very instrumental in this game today.
Right. So Freiburg going forward. Okbos. They're under a lot of pressure. Back to Atobolu. Atobolu to Ginter. Ginter going forward. He's got space. He runs into the center circle area. And he lays a really good one to Troy. Troy goes forward. And a lot of action on that far side. Niklas Beste, he tries to find the head of Matanovic, but the ball is stopped by Blasvic, who calmly collects the ball. And he throws it to Jarrell Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa tries to go forward.
He's having a bit of a 1-2 there with Vincenzo Grifo. But obviously he just played it to the back, into the hands of goalkeeper. Yeah, this Blasvic.
Leverkusen, I would say, living quite dangerously, playing the ball on in their own half.
And they lost possession.
They lose possession.
It's a shot! A shot there by Manzambi went past Yanis Blasvic. It could have been a fine goal there by Manzambi, who managed to dodge Alex Garcia and took a shot all the way there towards the post. But he couldn't get it into the back of the net.
He lost by Whiskers. Whiskers, he did a really, really good one there for Freiburg. So
Grifo is out.
We have confirmation of who is going out.
Vincenzo Grifo, the man who scored the first goal there for Freiburg, is out. And he has been replaced. Yep, we have the youngster there. There is a Sean, I think, who just came in there. The Jody Makengo just came in there as well for Jody Makengo coming there for Vincenzo Grifo. And is there a second change?
There is.
Christian Günther is out.
And Derry Chechon.
Derry Chechon is in there for him as well. So they've changed the striker for defender, another striker for another defender. So this is an interesting one there. Makengo in, Chechon in, Grifo out, and Günther out. Not to be mistaken with Matis Ginter.
Christian Kufane has a lot of space,
but he's
all by himself.
He's against a 3-man defense there for Freiburg, and he couldn't make it through there because Leverkusen players all came in to support him a bit too late. But they're still in possession as Andrich in the center circle plays back to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa looks as well for Poku. Poku's checks, but plays back to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa looking forward to, and he plays the ball back to Robert Andrich. Andrich has no chance, and he has to play to Blasvic. It's been a bit of a back and forth there with Leverkusen with their one-touch football. It could mean something for them, but you never know exactly what this is going to bring. As they lost possession, Matis Ginter gets hold of the ball, plays it to Suzuki. Suzuki looks onto the right-hand side there to Niklas Beste. He plays the ball. Niklas Beste looking for Maximilian Eggestein. And now we have the newbie who just got in touch there of the ball. That is Makengo. Makengo plays the ball back to Freiburg's number 7 and lost of possession. But again, in possession, it's not going to be an easy one there for Freiburg as Beste, Niklas Beste, about to take a shot and now plays to Makengo. Manzambi. Manzambi takes that ball and then takes the shot. And we see another chance for changes there. Tillman is coming in. We have Bayer Leverkusen making some changes there. Malik Tillman coming in there for an exhausted Mazar. Mazar is coming out there for Yeah, Malik Tillman.
Good job done by Mazar.
I'd say he's had a really good game
He's
today.
had a really good game.
Played a really good game today.
And if you're enjoying this game, go on to our social media pages, DW Africa. We are live on our YouTube channel, DW Africa, as well as on our partner stations, UBC and Raypa FM. Go on to our platforms on YouTube and let us know what you think about today's action.
That's right. Tell us what you think about the game we're covering. And if you have any of your comments, just put them there and we will try to read them out for you and tell you exactly how this particular game is going. And if you have any predictions as well, whether Borussia Dortmund are going to win that game tonight against Cologne, we shall see. But Borussia Dortmund are not traveling very far. They come in about an hour just from Dortmund, about an hour and a half from Dortmund to Cologne. But it's going to be a big rivalry between Cologne and Borussia Dortmund because Cologne as well, even though they're struggling, they have a massive and loyal fan base behind them. So they might be looking forward to upset Borussia Dortmund, which might put them far away from tabletop as Bayern Munich.
Leverkusen going forward, and Espoku wins throw in for Leverkusen.
We have some more goals across the Bundesliga. Hoffenheim are leading Heidenheim by 3-1. And surprisingly, HSV Hamburg, they are also leading Wolfsburg by 2-1. That is very surprising to me. And also another surprising game, Michael, is Leipzig on the third position, losing there to Augsburg. I mean, the game hasn't ended yet, but they are down by 1-0.
The Bundesliga is full of surprises. You can never underrate any team.
That's right. And Augsburg, they're not doing so far. If you look at the table right now, they find themselves, towards the midsection of the table. They're on position 8, whereas Leipzig, they are on position 6. So also not doing so well at the moment, though, but they are still in the Conference League area. As we see, Bayer Leverkusen jump onto the fourth of the Champions League position. That is if they continue to win this game. But Freiburg also put the pressure. It's not going to be an easy one for Leverkusen today. We shall see again how this ends.
70 minutes played. The score line is Freiburg 2, Leverkusen 3. Freiburg were the better side in the first half, but in the second half, Leverkusen showing their experience.
Obviously, a tough match day here for most of the Bundesliga clubs today, as Bayer Leverkusen showed their dominance in the second half of this match, and then they scored the third goal. So far, I would say Leverkusen have come out to be a better side. Robert Andrich is down with a foul there. It's being fouled by Newby, who just come in there for Freiburg. Session bringing Robert Andrich down there, and he's been booked with a yellow card.
Resumption of play. Leverkusen trying to go forward, and it is Enes Poku. Enes Poku who had a chance, but it was Okbus who was keeping him in his pocket, and he tried to go for a shot, but that was a very, very weak attempt, and it ended up in the hands of Noah Atobolu. Freiburg going for Niklas Beste. He checks, he looks, there's no one. He sends it back to Ginter. Ginter back to Beste. And Leverkusen under pressure. Freiburg going forward. And it's Suzuki. Suzuki who's got a ball on the edge of the 18-yard box. And he finds Okbus. Okbus is sitting on the edge of the 18-yard box. Leverkusen living quite dangerously. Sheshan finds Manzambi. Manzambi switches play to Ginter. Ginter to Beste.
It was a brilliant shot there by Beste, but not quite good enough. But still in possession as Suzuki is a shot. It looks like a handball there by Grimaldo. But he had his hand very, very close to his body. I don't think that there, but the ball did touch him. But he had his closed his hand up on his body, so it didn't look like
a good spell of play. And it was Leverkusen that was under pressure. Beste going for a very, very long shot, trying to beat Blaswich, but Blaswich had that covered. Leverkusen trying to build again once more from behind. Living dangerously, trying to find Kofane, and they find Kofane, but Outpost had that covered.
It's interesting how Kofane used the advantage of his height there against Koku and defeated Ogbus there.
Yeah. Nicolas Beste goes forward. He tries to go forward, but he's stopped by Grimaldo. The ball still in possession of Freiburg. Playing around the center circle. Ginter to Ogbo's. Ogbo searches. Makengo. Now Ogbo's. Sheshan tries to take on Poku. And he finds Ginter all the way in the center circle, center of the pitch. Makengo going forward. Jordi Makengo. Freiburg doing fantastic and getting a corner kick.
The Richard Hunt has lighted up a little bit of a fire for Freiburg there, giving them hope of equalizing. It's brought in a little bit of good performances for Freiburg, as he takes as well a corner kick there. Could this be the opportunity for them to equalize? Let's wait and see, but wait, we shall know more. Referee stops. As there's a little bit of a pushing and shoving at the back there, and the referee is having a war there with Fernandez. Fernandez and I think it's Eggestein. Fernandez having a little bit of a war there, a tussle with Eggestein, but a small opportunity for Freiburg, but then defended away very well there by Poku. Another changes again.
Yes, it is Martin Terrier who scored the third goal, who is going out.
And also we see Jan-Niklas Beste is out.
Yeah, Beste is out for Shiriaki Irie. And Lucas Hola also comes on for Johan Manzambi. So we have two more substitutions for Freiburg. Lucas Hola on, Manzambi, who has been a playmaker, out.
It's interesting. All the strikers on the bench, Siriaki Irie, Lucas Hola, and there is Sehon, they have all come in there as we see Manzambi also taking the break. Had a really good game, but in the second half, not so much. So it's going to be an interesting one. Lucas Hola coming in there. It's a really, really good defender, I would say. But we're going to see whether he's going to make a difference there.
And confirmation that Montreal Colbert comes on for Martin Terrier. 3/4 of the game already done. We have 15 minutes of regular time left. Oh, and that is such a silly mistake.
Suzuki takes a shot,
A silly mistake by... It was Edmond Tapsoba,
right,
who made that silly mistake and allowed Suzuki to get the ball.
Yeah, but it bounced off the back of a Leverkusen defender. As we see, actions upon reactions. Strikers coming in there for Freiburg. At the same time, Leverkusen reacting with some defenders there. So many changes have been made. Whether this is going to impact the second half, we shall see. But a little bit of fire on the right-hand side there has been brought in there by the youngsters on the bench. That is Shehant Seriaki Irie on the right-hand side there for Freiburg has been putting a little bit of pressure.
Leverkusen restart quickly. Christian Kofane was trying to go forward. He thought he had the opportunity, but he was stopped by Okbos. It was Blasvich who was trying to restart the game quickly. He saw that Kofane was free and tried to go for him, but Okbos was right on top of Kofane. Leverkusen they tried to go for the ball bundled, but Leverkusen in possession once more. Tillman in possession of the ball.
Indeed. Siriaki Irie has been a bit, in the few minutes that he's been in there, it's been a bit useful for Freiburg. I think the right-hand side there for Freiburg is playing a bit better now. But let's see whether there's going to be some good reactions coming from Leverkusen.
So confirmation that Siriaki Irie has been shown a yellow card. He tapped on the jersey of Alejandro Grimaldo, and the referee saw that. Nothing escaped VAR lately.
That's right. Good defensive work there by Irie against Grimaldo. Leverkusen though still in possession. As we see, the ball lands on the right-hand side there onto Poku. Poku plays back to it's not been an easy play there. Suzuki has also been very good for Freiburg. He's been helping out very much in the defense, even though he's a midfielder, and managed to get that goal as well for Freiburg. I think it was the second goal, right, Michael?
Yeah.
Throw in to Freiburg. Ball being played on the left-hand side, right in front of us here. But of course, Freiburg lost possession. Poku struggling there between three Freiburg players: Egelstein, Sechon.
The American-German Montreal Coolbreath, only 18 years old, playing for Leverkusen here. What's he going to be able to do this afternoon?
Some struggle there. That was really, really big struggle there between Kofane and two Freiburg defenders there. But obviously he lost possession. But it was a really, really close call there. No Artebolo did get the ball. It was a dangerous one.
We've done 81 minutes of the game so far. Freiburg seeking to equalize and possibly win this game.
Fine play there by Irie. Plays the ball back to... And he's still in possession. Is he going to take a shot? He plays to grip to Höller. Yeah. That was a loss of possession there as well by the Freiburg attack there. But it was a good one. I think Matanovic could have made something better out of that particular ball, but he didn't. But they're still in possession. August playing back. August playing back to Makango. Makango has no chance there, and he plays back to goalkeeper. He plays back to the goalkeeper, Noah Tubolu.
Freiburg building, searching, trying to find Erie, but Leverkusen covers quickly, and it's Jarrell Kwanzaa who's got a ball, and he tries to go forward, but the Freiburg players tag at his shirt.
There is Kwanzaa is overreacting here. It looks like he's going to get a card for that reaction. He has got the yellow card. Kwanzaa has been booked, not for his foul, but for his reaction. 2 more changes by Bayer Leverkusen. Oman and Palacios are coming in. And Ezekiel Palacios is coming in for
Ezekiel Fernandez.
Yeah, Ezekiel Fernandez is out.
And then we also have Ernest Poku also going out. And we've got Tim Owerman coming on for Ernest Poku. And then confirmation that you also got Ezekiel Palacios coming on for the other Ezekiel Fernandez.
That's right. 2 Ezekiels there. Got me a bit mixed up. So Sean played a brilliant ball there, looking for Höller, lost possession. But Erie plays back there to Egelstein. Egelstein to a really nice ball there from Egelstein. Plays it all to the defender who is playing really high at the moment. Freiburg looks to be like they're reacting again. A nice flank there by Matthias Ginter, but headed off a bit. Leverkusen seems to be struggling a bit. Started off the 80th minute of this particular match. Leverkusen seems to be losing the grip right now. They've done all of their changes so far.
They are under a lot of pressure right now. They are unable to hold on to the ball. And Freiburg, in the last few minutes, have been the better side with more possession, more ball control. But now Leverkusen have got a chance to build, to take the steam out of Freiburg's game. And it's Tapsoba who leads that charge. He goes forward. He finds Alejandro on that far side. Ronaldo lets a long one in. And unfortunately, it was Tillman who could not handle that ball. And he goes out of touch for a throw-in. Troy steps up behind the throw-in. Trying to effect that throw-in.
More changes being done by Freiburg. Throw in there by Troy. Into the head of Tapsoba. And the ball back to Troy again. Looking for Erie. Erie plays the ball back to Tapsoba. Tapsoba checks. And he has no chance there. Has to play it back to Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa towards the center circle. Looks on the right hand side. Who did he find? But Bayer Leverkusen loses possession again to Freiburg. Freiburg with their brilliant defending. They've been very successful so far. Even though they are losing, Matthias Ginter. Ginter plays to the right hand side to Erie. Erie checks in. Is he going to take a shot? Still in possession there.
Freiburg looking very, very dangerous.
Oh, an equalizer. As I said, it's a brilliant equalizer by Matthias Ginter. A really good header there. And by no other person, a flag taken by no other person but newbie on the ground who was changed. That is Darius Sechon. Sechon actually played a brilliant ball. So you can actually see that the changes so far that Freiburg did has been very useful. Look at that ball coming from Matambi at the back. Matambi places the shot. His takes on the defeated the defense there of Leverkusen. It took no other person but the defender, a Freiburg defender, who came in with that header. Defeated goalkeeper.
I saw this coming, Buba.
Right.
You know, the last 10-15 minutes, it's been a Freiburg game.
Freiburg have been very dominant.
They have been very, very dominant after coming on strongly in the start of the second half. Leverkusen seem to have lost that mojo. And so I'm not surprised that Freiburg has equalized, and possibly they have what it takes to add one more goal. Freiburg is a stronger, more dangerous side than Leverkusen. Leverkusen returning to the sixth position on the table if everything stays as it is right now.
Right. For a bit there, they went into a Champions League position. I think their fans will be looking at this result and going like, damn, that was close. We still have about 3 more minutes of normal time. Eggestein on the right hand side there. For Freiburg, still in possession, still on fire. Their changes have been very, very good. Suzuki in possession, looks for Erie. Oh, that was a bit of a tough one there. Tries to stop the ball, but pushes it too far. Lost possession, but still. Eggestein gets that ball and plays it all the way to the back to Noah Atubolu.
The final few minutes of regular playing time, and it is Freiburg that is dictating the pace of this game. They are going forward, stringing the passes together. Okbus, Makango, Suzuki dropping back to help. Atubolu. Back to the goal scorer, Matthias Ginter.
Obviously, Matthias Ginter had to go back to his position in the central defense there. As Leverkusen struggled a bit to go through two Freiburg players, but lose possession. And in the center circle, Matanovic plays on to Matambe. Matambe looks on for Session. Session in the 18-yard box. Dribbles past. Oh, he went really close, but lost possession. So cleared off away by Kwanzaa, Jared Kwanzaa. Saving what do I keep thinking about? Leipzig again today, saving Bayern Leverkusen there. Came really close there for Leverkusen. A brilliant play by Shahunt. Sorry. His name is Shahunt. Daryl Shahunt. Took a throw in there. Troy took a shot. Is it going to be a goal? It is a goal. But the referee says the linesman says it's an offside. Whoa.
Okay.
The referee is going to give this a VAR.
There is definitely going to be a VAR review.
Is it? Yeah. It's an offside position there. I would give it 4. I think is it Matthias Ginter again?
It is Matthias Ginter again.
Ginter again. What is he doing?
Matthias
He's the
Ginter
central
again.
defender. Is he the central striker?
He's fired up. As we wait for VAR confirmation of okay, so the referee is going over to review. Okay, so it doesn't stand. The goal has not been given. It was an offside, but Matthias Ginter in the last few minutes really coming on strongly. And Leverkusen, they seem to have lost their game plan. They're just trying to hold on to the ball, and they are losing possession. You know, they are losing the possession without any challenge at all.
Indeed. Erie has fired up the Freiburg right-hand side. As we see, Matthias Ginter played on to Eggestein. Eggestein lose possession there. Palacios played to the center circle. Who we have there? Oh! Hoffman was brought down there. Bayer Leverkusen on the offense there. Playing on the right hand side towards Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa plays on the left hand side and Grimaldo. Grimaldo takes a shot.
Oh, close one.
Close up there. But it looks like it would have come into the hands there of Noah Atubolu. Matthias Ginter is down holding his head, trying to call there for foul. Looks like Ginter was fouled in there. But a nice shot by Grimaldo, Alejandro Grimaldo, one of the firepower for Bayer Leverkusen today.
So regular playing time finished, and confirmation that we have a yellow card for Robert Andrich. He fouled Matthias Ginter in that build-up play, deliberately ran into him, and the referee seeing that.
Michael, fun fact here. There's been 3 yellow cards given. And guess which team got all 3?
That would be Bayer Leverkusen.
Right. They've gotten all 3. It tells you how desperate they are to actually take this game home. And yeah, Freiburg's coach now have a goalkeeper, but Julian Schuster has been given a yellow card as well, I think, for the way he protested. And the referee had to go over to explain to him why he is getting that yellow card. Actually, Christian Gunther did get a yellow card. Sorry, I take that back. So 5 yellow cards given, 2 to Freiburg, 3 to Bayer Leverkusen. The ball being played from the backhand side, Matambi.
Bayer Leverkusen absolutely
Sechon
out.
On fire. Sechon and Aurier on fire. They fired up. Freiburg. Suzuki taking a shot to Aurier, but it was caught short there by Tapsoba.
You can hear the roar of the fans in the Leverkusen, the Freiburg stadium.
We have a corner kick there. Shahant has been really, really good. But then he was the ball deflected onto Kwanzaa there. So we do have a corner kick. Another yellow card has been given. And this time around it's been given again to who? Or was that yeah, that was we were just watching the repeat there. A corner kick being taken.
The final action possibly of this game, and it's a corner kick for Freiburg.
Shehan taking that one. Is it a header? It was a header, but went past the post. Again. Whoa, this kid is on fire.
He's definitely on fire. We've played 5 minutes of added time. Unsure how many more we will have to do, but does Leverkusen have anything in the bag to pull? Does it have any more surprises?
Does it look like it, as this is the end? It could be a final throw in there being taken by Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa looking forward to throwing that ball all the way forward there, but ended up to Matambi. Matambi played that ball to the forward. Now we have Freiburg pushing forward to Egelstein. Egelstein looking forward to Ginter. Ginter again to Suzuki. Suzuki on the left-hand side, but lost possession. A brilliant defending there by Bayer Leverkusen. Yuto Suzuki has been really, really good. But
and definitely Leverkusen have really had a tough time in the second half. As we go on to the 6th minute of added time, a long throw-in comes in, and it goes out of touch for a goal kick. The substitutions by Leverkusen have been quite good. I cannot say the same I mean, by Freiburg have been quite good. I cannot say the same for Leverkusen.
I agree with that, Michael. I think Freiburg, their substitutions have done better for them. That's the final whistle. The referee says that's it. It's 3-3. A good play there by Freiburg. In the second half of the second half, I would say.
Yeah.
And in the first half of the second half, I give that to Bayer Leverkusen. It's been a brilliant, brilliant match day here between these two teams. Both sides played really well in the first half and in the second half. And they've deserved to take home these points each on this match day, Michael.
I mean, Buba, 2 weeks ago, I watched the Leverkusen game against Olympiacos in the Champions League. And I saw a Leverkusen side that is a pale shadow of its previous self. Last week, I did a commentary on their game against Mainz. And as I said at the start of this game, they left the equalizer very, very late to come into the game. And again here today, we have seen a Leverkusen side that has really struggled to play against Freiburg. They were down twice and equalized, came ahead in the second half and couldn't hold that lead. And as you saw, when they had the third goal, Freiburg turned on the fire and Leverkusen had no response to that. So my question is, do you think that the Leverkusen coach will survive this season with the side? Will he continue in that job, in that role?
Yeah, I doubt it. I think he hasn't done a really bad job, but so far it's not been very impressive. I would say that. He's not been very impressive. So we might see, him being let go at some point in this season. Because if Bayer Leverkusen continues to function like this, it might not be really, really good for their coach.
Yeah.
Kasper Ullmann.
And
but anyways, sorry, Michael.
We also have a Xabi Alonso who is out of work. So perhaps this is a match made in heaven. Xabi Alonso unemployed at the moment, Leverkusen having coaching problems. Do you think it is time for a remarriage?
I think Xabi Alonso needs to come back to Leverkusen because he started a project and that project was working.
Yeah.
He didn't finish the project. And the season before, actually, he joined Real Madrid. The offer came in, but he decided to stay another year to continue his project. And in this other year, he was also quite successful, not as successful as the year before that. So 3 seasons at Bayer Leverkusen, his project was really, really working for him. But then he decided to leave to take on the challenge that was a bit too big for him, I would say. He's a good coach, but coaching a team like Real Madrid, as there was a famous comment by pundit Thierry Henry, an Arsenal legend. I think everyone knows him. He said, at Real Madrid, you're not a coach, you're a manager. You have to manage the team. Having players, top stars, like Kylian Mbappe, like Jude Bellingham, Vinicius Junior, and Chouameni Rudiger, and all those guys. You need to have authority over them, not just good ideas as a manager, but like really good authority.
Yeah.
Because these are top world class players, and they have a real say in the team. You're not like other players that they are there, but their say doesn't really mean much as the coach. Whereas, Real Madrid, Vinicius Junior, he has a lot of say in the team. So, and we heard that he wasn't really that much in tune with Alonso. So I guess the Real Madrid bosses had to side with Vinicius Junior and the players that sided with him as well. That's why he had to leave. So maybe this is an opportunity for him to come back and finish the project he started. Probably he might see himself as a failure if he came back to Bayer Leverkusen. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I don't see that I don't see him coming back, but that would be quite a thing to have him because he also brought some excitement to the Bundesliga, and seeing Leverkusen struggle like they are currently, but not just in terms of the ability to score, but just the ability to hold the ball. And this was a Leverkusen that had a reputation for possession play. Being able to hold on to the ball, they would outplay most of the other teams, have so much of the possession. And now you have them in the second half of the second half, as you called it, struggling to hold on to the ball and create chances and even go forward. And this, I think, lies squarely at the doorstep of the coach. I think that he is a good coach, but perhaps the kind of play he is trying at Leverkusen isn't really working.
No, not really. I agree with you. Kasper Ullmann, yeah, he's a good coach, but probably not for Leverkusen. Anyways, so we have at the 34th minute, we had the first goal there by Vincenzo Grifo.
Yeah.
And Leverkusen equalized with a really fine kick there by Christian Kufane. And within that same first half, Euro Suzuki reacted as well for Freiburg, and they scored at the 43rd minute. Grimaldo also answered in the same first half with a very, very nice free kick there with his powerful left foot at the 45th plus 3 minutes. He equalized 2-2 before they went into first half.
Yeah.
Came in the second half. Terrier scored for Leverkusen. We put them ahead of Freiburg. And Freiburg struggled into the first half of the second half. And the second half, they actually equalized with a fine header there by Matthias Ginter at the 86th minute. So, what an interesting match.
Yeah, this certainly has been a game that has had a lot of goals, and not having goals isn't something that you can say about this game. And it's been a very fluid game. It's been back and forth action on all sides of the game. And yeah, I mean, Freiburg, the fans will see a team that really put in their all, fought even when they were down, because from the 52nd minute all the way till the 86th minute, they never stopped fighting. They kept on fighting to equalize and eventually did that in the 86th minute. And perhaps with 5 extra minutes, Freiburg could have won this game because they were a more coherent side, a side that was fighting for the win much more than than Leverkusen. I also observed that in the final equalizer, which was a goal scored by Matthias Ginter, it was supposed to be Alejandro Grimaldo who was marking Ginter. And that gets me thinking that perhaps is he doing too much in the team, going forward, always dropping back, going forward, dropping back. So if you'd realize, he wasn't able to mark Ginter as he should have and allow that header to go ahead. But is there anybody who's able to play that role of an offensive defensive or defender, in this current setup, so that Alejandro Grimaldo is freed to be the player within the midfield?
I agree. I think he's basically being like an offensive midfielder, but he was also very, very much active in the left back position.
Yeah.
And I kept asking myself, okay, what happened to the left back?
Yeah.
And if Grimaldo had to walk the left back, walk the center, walk the forward, what actually happened to those what actually happened to those particular how you call them, the
players in those
positions?
Yeah. And you see, it gets me back to the kind of formation that Kasper Ullmann has been playing in the last couple of games that I've observed him. He plays consistently 3-back, and it's consistently Edmond Tapsoba on the left-hand side and Jarrell Kwanzaa on the right-hand side. And this also surprised me because Robert Andrich, who is typically a midfielder, now plays in the defense. And then they are also supported by another midfielder, Alejandro Grimaldo. So it raises the question of whether or not there are deficiencies in the squad, that he does not have a proper midfielder defender. Of course, we know Jonathan Tah used to be the central defender,
yeah,
and now he's left. So have they not been able to replace Jonathan Tah such that Robert Andrich, who's got a physicality to hold the midfield, is now in defense? And now we also have Alejandro Grimaldo, who is very fast, very skillful, also dropping in defense sometimes to help out.
And yeah, that's a good analysis, Michael. Actually, if you look at under Alonso, Grimaldo played a lot more on the left back position than what he's doing right now. I mean, obviously the Kasper Ullmann has different ideas on how this work out, but at the same time, changing positions like that, changing players from their positions like that, impacts the team itself.
Yeah.
And as you say, Andrich is a player, is a huge player. Yes, might be a good defender and stuff, but I don't think that's a position for him. I think, in my opinion, it could be playing in a defensive midfield position.
Yeah.
And Grimaldo probably should be playing either next to him, and because of this particular role that he's playing, he's able to get the ball and distribute it properly and make the play. So maybe playing it in the defensive midfield or even as a pivot would have been a lot better than actually what he's doing right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't want to sound unkind to the coach, but Leverkusen has looked uninspiring in the last couple of games that they have played, and it is no wonder that they have currently, and they still continue to sit in the set position, a place where they have been sitting now for the last, I don't know, the last 3 or 4 weeks. And regarding the table toppers, they are 22 points behind the table toppers Bayern Munich. And so
that's crazy. That's a crazy difference.
The chance of playing in the top 4 is still there realistically, because they're only 5 points behind Hoffenheim, who are in the 3rd position. But if they keep dropping points like they have today, then they don't really, there's no real opportunity for them to get up into the top 4.
That's right. Anyways, Michael, before we go, let's give a quick roundup of all the score lines across the Bundesliga. Mainz succeeded in equalizing against Stuttgart. After that, early goal by Lee, and Demirovic also, equalized, and then it's Under for Stuttgart, put them ahead 2-1. In the late 90 minutes, Dani da Costa managed to equalize for them there. So that particular game ended 2-2. And the most interesting one as well is RB Leipzig. Leipzig were down by by 2 goals until towards the 76th minute. Jan Diamonde scored for them and equalized that particular game. And then in the 90 plus 2 minutes, Chavez scored a winning goal for them. So Leipzig ended up winning that particular goal. Wolfsburg, they still lost to HSV Hamburg, 1-0. Heidenheim managed to pull 2 back away from a massive Hoffenheim, who scored that particular 4-2. That is a massive goal as well. I mean, I didn't see that coming, to be honest.
Absolutely didn't see that either, Buba Jallo. Yes, and also to all of our people who listen to us on our social media platforms, DW Africa on YouTube, and also our partner stations, Raypower and UBC. We do this every Saturday. My name is Michael Uti, and I did this with
Buba Jallo. Thank you so much for being here with us, as usual. We hope to see you on match day 26, but next week we're going to be looking forward to the Champions League, and that's a good one. Thanks for now. Have a wonderful weekend.
DW, made for minds.